Good morning, my dear students of class 8, and I am happy to welcome you all to today's zoology class. Today's class is going to be about communicable diseases. Already in our previous class we have studied about certain communicable diseases. In the past two zoology classes we have studied about communicable diseases. So the remaining communicable diseases given in your textbook will be in today's class. So let's get started. What are communicable diseases? We have studied that communicable diseases are the diseases which can spread from one person to another person. So certain diseases only will spread from one person to another person, and other diseases, like if there is a failure in your organ or organ system, that cannot be considered as a communicable disease, right? Only the diseases which spread when you are in close contact with some another person who is infected, those type of diseases are only called as communicable diseases. And in our previous class we were learning about influenza, and I gave an example for corona also as communicable disease, right? So in today's class we will be learning about 4 more communicable diseases. The first communicable disease about which we are going to learn today is about measles. Have you heard this word measles? Usually it is common in small children all. How it will appear? It appears like a prickly heat, like in summer all you get some rashes, because of excess sweating, like that it will appear. So the symptoms of this disease is rashes, like this it will appear, like prickly heat. It will be like small bumps, but it is not as big as chicken pox, as well as it will appear red in color. The rashes will be red in color, whereas in prickly heat we don't have coloration like red. In measles you can find throughout the body, in the face and in the body, with red rashes. Apart from this, the fever, the temperature will be very high temperature is also found along with the rashes. These are the symptoms of the disease called measles. What causes measles? It is because of a virus, and it is called as rubella virus. So what is the name of the virus which causes measles? It is rubella virus. Then what is the preventive measure? The preventive measure for measles is again vaccination. Like many other diseases, if the child is vaccinated at the younger age itself, during the initial within 1 or 2 years, then he or she may not get measles. So how can you prevent this measles? By vaccination, I told you, right? What is vaccination? What a vaccine will contain? Vaccine will contain the same organism, that is the same virus, but in the attenuated form. That is, it will be inactivated. That is called as attenuation in technical terms. And the same organism will be present. So do not imagine that vaccines will have any chemical in it or any liquid like substances. The liquid substance is actually containing the same disease causing virus or the bacteria relevant to the disease, but it will be in inactive form. Why you need that same organism? Because you have studied about antigens and antibodies, So these organisms, anything which does not belong to your body will be considered as an antigen, and this virus or the bacteria, when it enters into the body, it will be considered as a foreign substance, as an antigen, and your body will start producing antibodies. So when your body produces antibodies, it will give immunity against the disease. Say for example, I inject a rubella virus vaccine into a baby. Okay, so the baby's blood will recognize this vaccine as an antigen, and it will produce antibodies against it. It will produce antibodies. Remember, the word antibodies is equal to immunity. More antibodies if you have, there is going to be more immunity. Now this rubella virus will not cause disease, will not cause rubella to the child because it is in attenuated form or inactive form. So, this will be considered as an antigen and your body will give antibodies, that is immunity to the child even before the disease onsets to the child. And again, if the child is exposed to the same virus, suddenly if the child comes in contact with the same virus, it will not affect the baby because the baby's body will have so much of antibodies against the rubella virus because already it has been vaccinated. That is how any vaccine will work, either it be rubella or any bacterial vaccine like tuberculosis vaccine. Whatever vaccine, for tuberculosis vaccine, what will be injected in the form of vaccine? The tuberculosis mycobacterium tuberculosis organism in the attenuated form only will be injected into the baby. This is how vaccine works. The next disease is dengue. See, the dengue and chikungunya, all know, these are all newly emerged diseases. Like long back we didn't have these diseases all, but it is something when you are growing up only you must have heard the onset of these diseases all into the society, right? So, dengue and chikungunya are some more communicable diseases because it can be spread through mosquitoes. And the causative agent for dengue is dengue virus. For rubella, for measles, rubella virus. For dengue, it is dengue virus. And the symptoms, there are a set of symptoms like, first, the person will have excess vomiting and then there will be abdominal pain. So, pain in the abdomen and then high fever. See, fever, it's not a major symptom because almost all the diseases, if you see, everything will be having fever as one of its symptoms, no? So, here excess vomiting and abdominal pain, and one more major symptom for dengue fever is it is swollen lymph glands and muscle and joint pain. So, the characteristic symptom of dengue fever is joint pain. The joints, no, wherever you have joints, in your hands you have, in your legs all you have joints, no, those joints will have severe pain in the case of this fever. And along with that, the secondary symptoms are abdominal pain and excess vomiting. And one more major symptom is swollen lymph nodes. Where all you have lymph nodes, you have near your neck and here in your underarm, all you have lymph nodes. Suppose when you go to the doctor for fever, all some doctors know, they used to press like this and ask like whether you have pain, like that. Some doctors used to ask, no, because they check if there is pain in your lymph nodes. Why? What is happening in the lymph nodes? It is the place where you have more WBC cells, that is, it will give immunity. So, when something is not normal in your body, when something is abnormal in your body, or during the phase of diseases, the lymph nodes will be swollen because more WBC cells will reach that area and try to fight against the disease. That is why that lymph node area will be swollen. Okay. So, secondary symptom is swollen lymph nodes, and the first major symptom for dengue fever is the joint pain, and along with that you have fever, excess vomiting and abdominal pain, and sometimes very rarely there will be nose bleeding also. That will be it is not a common symptom, but sometimes you have nose bleeding also. So, these are the symptoms. How can you prevent this fever? This fever can be prevented when you control the mosquito, because mosquito is the vector which spreads this disease, no? So, as we learnt in malaria, what you have to do, you have to keep the area around your house clean, like you should not let water to stagnate in that area. You have to cut the source of breeding of mosquitoes. Wherever stagnant water is formed, breeding of mosquitoes is more, no? So, you have to cut that source first, and if you maintain community hygiene, when your surrounding and community is clean with proper hygiene, then the spread of mosquito or the multiplication of mosquito can be controlled, and thus this dengue fever can also be controlled. This is about dengue. Then chikungunya is the next disease. For this, the preventive measures will be the same, because it is also one more disease caused by a type of mosquito. See, in the case of malaria, it is a female Anopheles mosquito which causes the disease, right? But in these two cases, no, like dengue fever and chikungunya, the causative agent is Aedes mosquito. Aedes mosquito only. It is not the causative agent, it is the vector which carries the virus. What virus is the causative agent for chikungunya? It is chikungunya virus. Okay. Actually, these are all general terms, like common terms, like chikungunya virus or dengue virus are common terms, but actually they have binomial nomenclature. They have a biological name. They belong to a family of virus. They belong to a genus of virus, and that will be your homework today. Okay. So after this class, what you are going to do? You are going to write the names of the family this virus belongs to, the genus and the family you write. Okay. So two names I need for both dengue and chikungunya. You are going to write the genus where they belong to and also the family they belong to. Okay, you can Google and see, it is not available in your textbook. That will be the original genus name for this virus. Actually, chikungunya is not the proper name. You will find that and message to me in WhatsApp. Okay, here also the symptoms is almost similar, like you will have joint pain. Along with the joint pain, you have joint swelling also. In dengue fever, what did you learn? Swelling of lymph nodes you have studied, right? But in chikungunya, the joints also will be swollen. It is a advanced version of dengue fever. Like apart from pain, you will have swelling in the joints. The person will have difficulty in walking too. So it is along with that, you will have fever, as we have studied. If you analyze all the diseases, no, for all the diseases, fever is one of the symptoms. So that you cannot consider as a major symptom, but you have to write, when you write the list of symptoms, you have to include fever also. But the major symptom is joint pain and swelling is the major symptom for chikungunya. So how can you prevent this disease? This disease can be prevented when you control the mosquito, just like malaria and dengue fever. Here also water stagnation should be cut. The source of stagnant water should be cut off surrounding your house, so that breeding of mosquitoes will be controlled and this disease spread will also be controlled, because Aedes mosquito is the causative agent for this disease. Okay. And then the next disease is AIDS. AIDS is one more communicable disease. So what is the full form for AIDS? It is acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. What is it? Acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. Actually, you will be learning more about AIDS all in your higher grades. Maybe in your grades 11 and 12, you will be learning in detail. Just I will give a introduction in this class, because you are not going to learn more, just you are learning that AIDS is also a communicable disease, which means AIDS can be spread from one person to another. Okay. So what is AIDS? Acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. Actually, it is not a disease, it is a syndrome. What is a syndrome? Syndrome is a set of symptoms. Many symptoms together. There are many symptoms in the case of AIDS. That is why it is coined by the term syndrome. Syndrome means a set of symptoms. Okay. And I stands for immunodeficiency, no, and all these symptoms directly, they are not the symptoms for AIDS disease, but it is the symptom for immunodeficiency. What is immunodeficiency? Immunodeficiency means your immune system becomes poor. This virus, no, HIV virus is the causative agent. HIV stands for human immunodeficiency virus. Okay, human immunodeficiency virus is HIV. So this virus directly attacks the immune system. We all have immune system, no? So this immune system is the target for this virus, HIV virus. It will go and directly attack the immune system. So when the immune system is attacked, the person who is infected will completely lose immunity. So all the diseases, see until you have your immune system is good only, you will not get disease. So once it is lowered, immediately the person will get all the diseases can attack him. He is easily prone to many diseases. So, this virus, when it attacks the immune system, a set of other diseases will attack the person's body. So, he will have so many diseases, and that is why he has multiple symptoms, and AIDS will not have one particular symptom. So, what all diseases he is attacked to, all the symptoms he will be having. So, that is why it is called a set of symptoms. So, as I told you, whenever your immune system is attacked, there will be swelling in the lymph node. I was explaining in the other slide also, no? So, here also, since the immune system is lowered, your WBC cells will try to fight against, and the lymph node of the HIV patient will be swollen always. And unexplained weight loss, because of the many diseases existing in the person's body, he will have sudden weight loss all of a sudden, and the person will be having fatigue. What is fatigue? Fatigue means extreme tiredness. He will always be tired. So, these are major symptoms like swollen lymph node, unexplained weight loss and fatigue are the major symptoms. And how can you prevent AIDS? You can prevent by not sharing needles or syringes. Whenever you go to hospital, no, even for a fever, if you are getting injections, always check if it is a new syringe and needle. Check if the nurse or whoever injects you, they should take a fresh one. They should open the cover and use the needle or syringe for you, because repeated use, if the person has already used the needle and the syringe, and if the nurse is going to use the same for you, if the person who used it first had this disease, AIDS, there are chances for the person who is getting injected also to get the disease. So, always be careful whenever you are going for hospitals, because easily through blood it will spread. So, using unused syringes and needle, innocent people may not be affected. Okay. And how does it spread? The major way it spread is through physical contact with infected person. So, do not be in contact with the patients who have HIV. Okay. And also sometimes pregnant women are easily affected during blood transfusion. Not only pregnant women, whoever gets blood transfusion, if the blood is not screened properly, there are many cases existing till now, like without improper screening of the blood for HIV, when they transfuse the blood, innocent people are affected every day. So, always be careful whenever you get injections or blood transfusions. Okay. So, this is about HIV. Then what are vectors? We have used this word many times already, right? Vectors, like Aedes is the vector for chikungunya, and female Anopheles mosquito is the vector for malaria. So, what is a vector actually? A vector is an organism which carry the pathogen of the disease. What is pathogen? Pathogen is the causative organism or the disease causing organism. In the Zoom session you were asking, what is causative organism? So, whatever organism is going to cause the disease, that is addressed as causative organism. You can also call it as pathogen. Okay, pathogen and causative organism means the same. So, these vectors, say for example, if mosquito is a vector, this vector will not cause the disease, but it will carry the disease causing organism. Okay, if there is a mosquito and if it carries plasmodium, plasmodium is a protozoa. So, if it is going to carry plasmodium, so mosquito will be the vector and plasmodium will be the causative organism. Okay. So, mosquitoes are vectors. There are two types of vectors. What you have studied? What all you have studied? This malaria causing vector is female Anopheles mosquito, and another vector what you have studied is chikungunya, and dengue fever causing vector is Aedes mosquito. So, these are the vectors what you know. And one more thing, do these vectors get the disease because they are carrying the pathogen? They do not get the disease. Is mosquito getting the disease malaria? No, it does not have malaria. Only human beings get malaria, no? So these vectors will carry the pathogen or the causative organism, but they will never get the disease of the organism what they are carrying. And one more example is given for vector in your textbook. It is Tsetse. Don't spell it as Tsetse, okay? It is Tsetse. Tsetse is a vector which causes sleeping sickness. It causes a disease called sleeping sickness. It doesn't mean that the sickness is the person is always sleeping. It is not like that. Actually, there are many symptoms like body rashes, fever. These are all the common symptoms. Apart from this, the person's neurological system is affected. Okay, his nervous system is affected some way, so there will be disturbances in his sleep pattern also, and that's why it is called as sleeping sickness. But the major symptoms are like fever, rashes, all are the major symptoms. So this is all about the vectors. And then in our previous class, there are few students who have completed the homework what I gave you. What was the homework? I asked you a question. Which mosquito causes malaria, right? The answer is female Anopheles mosquito. So whoever sent me the right answers, these students, Asmi John, Jebin, Candy and Britya and Ashwini. So these many students have sent me the right answers. Very good. I need the activities or the assignments to be completed by every student in your class, not only these many students. Okay. In the next collage, I got the activity from many students. Happy to see that. But everyone should participate in the activities and the assignments given. Okay. So that is all for today's class. Until I meet you in your next class, you all take care and bye bye.